6, episodes 11 to 18, titled The Invasion. This is the first time that the Cybermen are like, we like these humans. We like how they have emotions. Oh, hold on a second, we're the Cybermen. We don't understand these words emotions, so we must turn these humans, these earthlings, to turn into us. Delete, delete, delete. Actually, they haven't said delete yet. You know, or constantly saying delete. I feel like that, to think about it, that's more of a, like, Russell T Davies' first one of Doctor Who type of thing. Because if you think about it, between then and now, the Cybermen never say delete. My guess at the time, it was like, hey, let's give the Cybermen their version of exterminate. And everyone's like this. It was cool maybe a little bit, but now everyone else is like, no. Just no. But this is the first time that the Cybermen have evaded Earth. It won't be the last, of course. We can even name a number of times in the revival with, like, you know, Army Goes in Doomsday, The Next Doctor, what's it? You know, Death in Heaven. Like, I mean, we can go on and on and on, right? So. But this is also the introduction of U.N.I.T. The introduction of U.N.I.T, which is a core key aspect of the Doctor Who lore. It's even there to today, and even a Brigadier Stewart is there. Now, of course, the Colonel, or the Brigadier, was a Colonel in the Weapon Fear. I didn't decide to cover the Weapon Fear because of the Turnap, but I didn't have the anime recreation, so I felt like, you know what, safe to say, I don't want to, you know, butcher a story. I want to get my true thoughts and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, next one. What's the next one? It's you know, the Invasion. And first thing that came into my mind where I thought, oh my god, it's U.N.I.T, and oh my god, it's the Brigadier. I basically say, like, oh yeah, we're going to get a Doctor Who spin-off. Like, one of the Disney Plus, like, Doctor Who spin-offs is clearly going to be U.N.I.T. It's going to probably be the new Torchwood. I'm just putting it, and it's, you know, it's just me as a fan. I'm just speculating, but I think we're going to get a U.N.I.T spin-off. That feels more, that you know what, that feels sense. To have this is, you know, what Earth looks like when the Doctor's not around. Who's there to protect the alien threat? And it could be like the end-all of the Doctor Who universe. If you're going to create a Who-verse, you need to have different aspects and all that kind of stuff. But I'm calling it, we're getting a U.N.I.T spin-off. But with the story itself, I won't lie, I'm disappointed by it. I mean, the story is that after the events of the Mind Robber, the TARDIS is reassembled, and after the Doctor's just checking things, making sure everything works, a alien ship is across the monitor, and they're like, where's that? And they go investigate. And the weird thing about this story is, I'm like, it's 8 episodes. Okay, this has to be huge, this has to be big, it has to be a big bang boom. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. I won't lie, I'm a bit disappointed by this story, because it is the first Cyberman invasion. And what you realize is that the Cybermen are kind of overshadowed. It's kind of, it's one of those annoying overshadowing, where you got this invasion, you got the Cybermen, and it's getting swept by having a human villain as the main villain. It feels like you have the side villain as the main villain, and the main villain is getting turned into the side character. And it's just, like, I get it, like, example, like, Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel, which is the introduction of them in the revival. I get that, because you need the origin, you need to introduce them in the concept of a guy, them being created. I get that. I get that notion. I get why you did that, to kind of, but the idea he turns into a Cyberman at the end, so, you know, kind of helps. But I get it. This I don't. Having them being an alien race from another planet, and having it wasn't a budget thing. that we can't afford the Cybermen. Like maybe the new designs ain't there. Which feels like now the stuck on, at least the helmet is the stuck on design of the classic designs of the Cybermen. There's no more changes going to happen until we hit 2006 when they are back in the revival. So, but yeah, I felt like the Cybermen were overshadowed by this human villain. There's like this corporate dude who just shouts at his like, I'm surrounded by fools kind of villain, but he sounds very calm. He's very calm, with one eyebrow waves, and the other one is resting on his eye, and you will do as I told. We have the Cybermen will, do as I told, and he's just uninteresting because he is just a simple corporate guy, and you realize the robots are more bloody interesting. I mean, okay, a Cyberman in fear. Okay, that was interesting. Of them going That's what a Cyberman sounds like. They sound like a whale. It sounds like Dory from Little Finding Nemo. Finding making whale noises. It's a woo. It's that. That was interesting because we see a Cyberman in fear because knowing how emotionless they are. But this whole, because they don't show up till like the very, 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 very end, like the big reveal before the credits come along, till part 4, and the rest of it is just them, like the Doctor and the companion, or Jamie and Zoe, just going inside this building and going outside the building. And then we have to go back in the building, and then go back inside, and go back, and go out. And it's just like, the idea of it is like you get everyone, you get out, and then you have to go back to it, and then you kind of wrap things up there. I feel like the Cybermen would be easier if there was like an episode 2 reveal. Have Zoe, like, having the photographer storyline, I was like, okay, outside like the proving the government, that they should get military stuff, I get missiles ready to attack the Cybermen. Outside of that, I'm like, okay, I know, there's a photographer story. Zoe could easily join. I was like, when she's like, no, I just want to say with the photographs and do the modeling, I'm like, Zoe, get your fucking ass there, tag along with us. Even though there's a line that the Wickeder does that would not pass today, and it's with the photographer character, and he's like, well, you can't go along because you're a pretty girl. This is a man's job. I'm like, god damn it. We have like a minute of like, man, this is a man's job. No, this is not for a woman. You step back, and I'm like, dear, that would not fly today. That's just a big fashion no-no, and unsavory so a big no-no, and all that. I just couldn't really get into the story because the story just felt so repetitive with them walking in and out, and the point to when the Cybermen do show up, I don't care about the invasion because it's not appealing. It feels like the side plot to the main plot, which sucks. But now I know where that clip of the second Doctor, jumping over the place when he's doing the explosions and pretending there's like his clothing just go on fire or something, and go jumping up and down all the time. I get that. I get that. I try to think what else to talk about. It's just, yeah. Now the next one I'm going to cover is the Conons. The Conons. Now it'll be interesting. It's now Klingons. It'll be funny if it says Klingons. Just saying, but it's not.